and then we will go into discussion about any comment that you have or question. Thank you. Carter County Sheriff's Report is the first thing on our agenda, and he will not be here tonight. They are in Bridger on a structure fire, and he would not be able to be here, so we'll go on to the minutes.
Should we motion to add come up with a special meeting and change the agenda to add that?
Oh, right, I forgot about that special meeting. We can do that, can't we? I don't think so. I think we have to put it on our next
Okay, we
agenda.
can't,
We have to
Until next.
add it to
Okay.
the minutes for the next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the agenda first.
Yeah. And then there's that big bumblebee. Can we find something to open the
Take it
back
out.
door and see if he'll fly out the door? I don't want anybody ending up in the hospital emergency room. There he
He's
goes.
coming right
going
over your
There he
shoulder.
went, right behind, there, he
He's
closed
gone.
the door, he's gone. Thank you. Yeah, he was not a welcome visitor.
Oh. Make a motion to approve the minutes of April 1st.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 1st. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes of April 1st. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We can't do that until next month because we didn't have that on the agenda. So we're looking at the bills for April. Everyone's looked at them, signed them. Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
I move that we approve the bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And Spencer is not here. Jeremy, Public Works?
Yeah, I'll just short and sweet. Just want, Jay's working out really good. So thank you all for bringing him aboard. It's been tremendous help. Now I'm with him. We were able, some of those rainy, bad days we went through and all the equipment's been serviced. Was able to inventory 95% of the shop. So it's documented, make, model, serial numbers, all that kind of stuff. The Spencer can we fixed, finally it's done up on Mine Spur, that's been fixed and it's back to normal and the road's open and everything's good up there now. I know the homeowner's tremendously happy now. So, and I feel I made good with him, so the town of Frommer is good. And then yeah, just maintaining all the mowing as this time of year comes around. Public or the town properties, park, baseball field, the Y. We did the highway this morning. you know, and then just making our way around and showing him where we mow and what we're responsible for and stuff like that. And I did also go over to the weed district in Joliet at Tammy. I talked about that, and just a rough estimate, but we were already on file. I guess Mike used to use them, but for $500 they will take care of all the lagoons, all that property, possibly possibly the park, but for sure the baseball field for around $500, and that's for the whole season.
For the whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would they do for that?
They'll weed control. They'll
Oh,
get rid of
weed
the
control.
goat heads and dandelions,
Yeah.
sterilize, or they know what to do down at the lagoons. Cause he
Will they
was,
take care of the goat heads too?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And it's just, yeah, time and product. And he looked it up and it'd be about $500
Yeah.
for all those properties for the season, like I said. So checking more into that. And then last, I think the best thing going on is going around with the potholes and fixing them. And me and Jay got a pretty good system down now, and I mean, there's a lot of roadways we still need to get to, but I tried to focus on the major roads, get them potholes done, and just keep picking at it away, maybe 1 or 2 buckets a week at minimum, and get it used up and get the patches done. And anyone have any questions or comments?
How's the repair on the backhoe?
Good, oh, thank you, I got it in today. It's finished.
You got it back?
Yeah, ran it, cleaned up.
Great shape.
Yeah.
Cleaned up East River, got that mess out of the borrow ditch, down there on East River between First and Second, and used the dump truck, we got that running, hauled all that junk away, but no, I'm really impressed with the job they did in the backhoe.
Do you have an idea what they charged us for that?
I'm not sure, I'll have to look again, I just kind of
It's not
turned
on
it.
this month's bill, I wouldn't imagine.
No,
Yeah.
oh, I just got it today. I think it was, you said a little over 9,000, is that what you said?
Yeah, right in that area.
Most
But it's like a new backhoe?
No, brand new one, you're looking 70.
No, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
operational.
Yeah, no, and we spent an hour going through what he did to it, why he did it, why it needed to be done, and just a very thorough job, yeah, and it's, cause half the greasers weren't working on the backhoe, you know, blew all them out, pulled the pins, greased them, all the complete overhaul of all the fluids. Come to find out, there's the wrong fluids in the front differentials, and in the reverser, they call it, that runs the backhoe. Those were 2 different oils that weren't supposed to be in there. Caught that in time. They had to pull the fuel tank. There was over almost, or close to, I think he said 2 inches of sediment and sand and stuff in the bottom of that tank. So new pull to clean it, new fuel filters, hydraulic filters, air filters. Yeah, it's 4 pages of what they did. And so I'm happy with the result, and like I said, it ran great, best it's run since I've been here.
Okay.
Good.
So you feel comfortable in, that way next time you do the service on it and change oil and do all that stuff?
Yeah, because now I know where it starts from,
Exactly what
yeah,
you need.
and I know what to do daily, monthly, weekly, what checks need to be done. I went with that
Yeah,
through
the guy
him.
generated a list on what needs to be maintained on what time frames, and just basically for him to follow. So
Good.
Yeah. And he said, like you said, he sees it a lot. If you don't take any personal investment in the property, if you don't own it, it's hard for people to give a crap, basically. He said that's how all that neglect gets going.
Yeah.
But,
And we've had that for years, so,
and,
but that's good, thank you, really,
yeah, it's been,
really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
would
good
say
piece of
you-
equipment.
You've
for us.
done an excellent job, Jeremy, we thank you very much.
thanks.
Anything else, any discussion? Jan?
You have all your reports that we normally get, there's budget versus actual, the expenditures, the revenue, cash reports. I learned a lot last week in school, and not probably too much. There's a few things that I would like to implement, seeing that we are going to be having possibly a new mayor and 2 new council members by the end of the year. I would like to implement an orientation for whoever comes on board, so that it's a smooth transition. Basically, go through the policies and let them know how the procedures and stuff for the town council meetings and things like that and how they run, especially if there's somebody that is not familiar with governmental procedures. And then there is a meeting, there is a conference in the end of June that I would like to have. The two council members that are staying with us, or if somebody else decides to stay with us for budgeting, so that they have some kind of knowledge of what has to be done, especially if we have a new mayor and 2 new council members the following year, and so that they have some, we all have some guidance in that. And on that note, we are looking for 2 council members, unless Dave and Bill would like to stay on. And
We've been pressuring them.
And
There's an
then
election.
Still have to be elected.
There's
I know, but but you can still put your hand in.
You're the only one who puts in.
Yeah, but so
I think
those
that-
are open, and then the mayor's position is also open.
Right.
So just giving you guys a heads
And I
up.
think they can file starting the 10th of June, I believe it is.
No, June 17th is your
June
deadline, it's
17th.
open right now.
It's
Okay,
open right
okay.
now. So just to throw that out to anybody and to any of the members that are on board that would like to stay with us. Other than that, just I would like to see that our council meetings, I was going through the video as I was doing our meeting, our minutes, and I would like to see we have a pretty open forum as far as open public comments, and nobody is called upon and said, you know, please stand and state your name and do that. And I like the lane one kind of, it's not as stringent, and I said that's nice, but I also would like to have everybody to be considerate and respectful and courteous, so when they are talking, when somebody has a point to make, not to interject in between, let them finish what they're saying, and then you can say your piece, because going through that, if you saw that video, you would be appalled because somebody was talking and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 different people, and it's really hard to take minutes and write down the most, and even by hand, it's very hard to get the right things down and who said the right things that, and the important things that need to be put in a packet and then and into the meeting minutes. So I would just have you guys just remember and try to be more vigilant on making sure that the person who is speaking gets to finish before you interject your points of view. So, and that's all I have to say. I just like to see that.
And we've kind of stressed that at other meetings before, but sometimes that doesn't always work. Jerry?
A couple times I tried watching that video and I couldn't get the volume or nothing on it.
I'm not putting them on the website anymore. I can give you copies, but
Okay.
right now we're trying to figure out a,
They
not-
don't upload to the website
Website,
very
they
good
won't.
because they're
Okay.
so big,
Right.
and then I don't know if it's players or the website that they have trouble playing, because
Okay.
I have the same issue when I try to look at them.
and so, but I can put them on a disc, but I have to, or some kind of medium, but right now, the discs are so small, you either have to pay for 2 to 4 discs. And so I'm thinking if I can find maybe a disc, a flash drive or something that I
Or
can.
yeah, if you want to bring in your
no
own flash drive,
and we can
you
transfer
just
it that
transfer them
way.
over there, that's easy.
That's easy. So something like that, because there's just no sense in putting them on the website when nobody can watch them.
Yeah, we have to use a special way to upload them even because they're so big, we have to FTP them on,
Right.
so,
And legally, we aren't bound to
no.
publish those on a website or record them. As long as we have written minutes legally, we are good. So,
Correct, as far as I understand.
so, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Jen.
Is that where you want me to give a report to? I don't have an
Yes,
agenda, I don't know
Okay,
where
yeah, you
you're
go
at.
ahead. That's
Okay.
so it's your next. Yes.
So Shirley's been getting kind of updates as I go along, but I wanted to give you guys an update on where I am right now. I balanced from January of 18 through August of 18 and called the auditors because I thought I'm at the end of the fiscal year, we're gonna be in good shape, we can get this audit done. In speaking to the auditors, it was not good enough. They needed me to go back and balance the entire fiscal year so that your revenues were accurate for the year. Because of your grants, you're gonna need an audit, but potentially a federal audit if your revenues reach, I believe it's 750,000, which with your grant, that's very likely. So, we were I was able to discuss with him what it was he wanted done. So I went back to April of 17 and balanced forward to January where I was, and then actually kind of rebalanced from January on, because of course when you go backwards like that, it changes your numbers. While I did have a stable figure that we were off when I did January to August, I no longer have a stable figure now. What it's off changes over the course of time. It'll remain the same for a month or two or even 4 or 5 months at a time, but then it goes off again. In my opinion, it's not worth my time to go find out exactly why that's off. I have some really good theories. There were times where we use account 101,000 is what we call it. That's our cash account. It's different than, say, a revenue account. When you get paid for bulk water, you use a different account number for revenues. That cash is so that it offsets things the right way in the background of the software system. There were times in the past that I found where that cash account was used like a revenue account. And what that does to the deposit is doubles it, because it hits that cash account 2 times. So I found several of those. I fixed those in the months I balanced. But unless I go back before April of 17, I don't know what's off back there. And I can do that if your auditors think that's worth our time. I kind of don't know if they're going to feel like it's worth our time.
I think that they can probably.
I don't know what he'll say. I haven't had a chance to call Matt. I just finished all of this last night at 7:30 or 8 when I finally left here. So that's where I'm at this very moment. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to get your audit started or not, but I will find out as soon as I have a chance to call Matt at Whitfley. And then are you explaining at some point about the audit contract?
Yes.
Or do you want me to touch on that?
Yeah, you can touch on that if you want.
Okay. So when I called Matt and was talking to him, he corrected me. Oh, no, these guys aren't having an audit, they're having a financial review. And I said, no, they need an audit. And he goes, oh no, they asked for an audit, they didn't really mean it. Sometimes they don't know what they mean. They need a financial review. And I was like, no, I'm here to tell you, they need an audit. And I explained to him why I thought that and what the revenues were showing so far and the grants you have for your wastewater and water projects in recent years. And he goes, oh, they need an audit. He goes, actually, they probably need a federal audit. I'm like, yeah, now we're on the same
We will need a
page.
federal audit on one grant.
It just will matter the fiscal year. Either
Right.
you'll federal audit the fiscal year or
Yeah.
you won't, as far as I
Right.
understand it. But I've
Yeah.
never been through a federal audit, so I don't know.
And I did talk to him on the phone, and what happened is they did not read that certified letter, because I did express.
Correct. You asked for the right thing,
Yes.
but so many clerks that need a financial review call it an audit that he assumed you asked for the wrong thing.
No.
And that's flat what he
Well,
told me is
you
they
know,
asked for an audit. I thought they meant a financial review because they looked at your past history with local
Right.
government services. You've always done financial reviews.
Yes.
So past practice dictated that, oh, they need a financial review, not an audit. He just wasn't aware of your balances because he hadn't seen any of the numbers yet. So he's gonna have to get you a new contract. You didn't
Yes.
sign a contract for an audit, you signed a contract for a financial review, which
Really?
is significantly less expensive.
Yes.
So you're looking at some higher numbers.
Is that why a couple of those were different?
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't read your audit contracts, but I thought back about that too and thought,
Yeah.
oh, that
Couple of them
explains
were
the
double.
discrepancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably looking at more like the $12,000 to $15,000 range, depending on whether it meets that federal audit.
Yeah, and I think that we
pinpoint or
did
not.
set the majority of that aside for an
Mhm.
audit, so.
And that's
that-
good.
Yeah.
So that's what I got from him. So I will hopefully get him called tomorrow. I barely worked today anywhere, so I didn't get him called today. But I'll hopefully get him called tomorrow and see where we go from here.
Okay,
So see what he wants me to do.
Yeah,
So,
we need
but
to.
we're on our way. I worked about.
We need to
Yeah.
move forward
But
here.
everybody's in agreement. I've spoken to Norm at Olmos and Associates. I've spoken to Matt at Whitfley. I've spoken to Darla and Tammy at Local Government Services. Everybody's in agreement. Let's take our time. Let's get this right. Let's
Right.
turn it in late rather than wrong. So the fact that, we're obviously running well behind schedule for what this should have been done,
Right.
it's okay. Everybody's forgiving the monetary penalties so far, and everybody's just happy that we're working towards getting it right.
Right, and that's,
So-
Darla kind of expressed that to me too when I talked to her, so
Yeah.
that's.
So, yeah, Jan and I had a chance to visit with a local government services at Clark School in person, which was kind of nice to put faces to names so we know who we're talking to, who we know. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. So, any questions for me? I'm gonna sneak out of here then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay, let's move on to new business. Is Annie Gillespie with us tonight? Okay. She wanted to discuss a multi-hazard mitigation plan for a county, but if she's not here, we will move forward. Ethel Senden?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Thank you very much, everyone. This town has been very gracious, and I'm happy and feel very lucky to be part of this community. So thank you to everyone for being so welcoming. The one issue that I'd like to address is that the stray dogs that run around on the regular basis, from what I read in the ordinances, is that everyone, their dog has to be on a leash unless they're in their own specific yard. I understand it's small town, dogs get out, that happens, but when it's the same regular dogs all the time, I'm completely disabled, so to have stray dogs, large breeds especially, and I'm training a service dog, roaming, running, dogs are gonna be dogs and be aggressive, and sometimes it's just not enough time to get into the house to call the sheriff or whatever, so I would like to make, a polite way of saying, could we please all follow the leash laws, or, I brought Shirley a picture, I managed to catch a picture of these two dogs that are out on the regular. They dump over everyone's garbage, go in everybody's yards, everything, but it could be a safety issue for a lot of people as well, having young children, or like myself when they're walking their dog on a leash and the next thing you know, other dogs come up. So I just would like it if, as a community, we could all come together and remember the fact that, yeah, there's a leash law and everybody should abide by it. So, but thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
And we'll get, look into those. I'm sure the dogs have been tagged. So we'll look up those tag numbers, and then we'll have, I'll have Sheriff McQuillan
Thank you. Yeah,
follow up on it.
There's been a few times where I've just not been able, I don't ever like to have to hurt an animal, but when there's two of them against me and this giant puppy I'm trying to train with a metal leg, it can get chaotic, and it's very stressful, because I don't ever want somebody to think I'm hurting their dog, but yet they're loose on my property, and I can't get up on my own. I need help, so I appreciate the community looking out for everybody just as I would do for anybody else,
So,
Thank
but
you.
typically it's always the same two that are using
it's
the
usually
lawn?
the same,
yeah.
it's pretty much
That
the
little
same
black
two,
Yeah,
they
you got a
they
picture of
cruise
some,
the
like,
alley.
Josh.
Yeah, that time I managed to get a picture of them because they had dumped it with the trash. It was trash day.
Right.
And by the time I was able to hobble along, get mine in, they were in front of Tim's area, so I was able to capture a picture of them. But those two are, they're on a regular basis
Right.
out.
Yeah. And then we can check the actually description of the dogs to
On your
see if we can
records.
track the owner, and then we'll just go from there and
Well,
let them
thank
know,
you so very
because
much.
that's, I understand that. My dogs hardly ever get out. They have had one that sneaks out, but he hasn't
Yeah.
for a while now, so.
And dogs are dogs, and it's rural, and I understand, stuff happens. I'm
Right.
sure at one point, I'll figure out how
Well, we
to.
had one dog that got
Escape.
hit on the highway
And-
after
yeah, and
last
that's another
meeting, and I
thing.
don't know if he survived or
Yeah.
not.
Little lab.
That big yellow one, he runs around with a little white dog all the time.
Oh, he did get hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
I was trying to call on that guy too, and I lost sight of him before I could figure out where they went.
Yeah,
But that's my other concern is
When I
that, yeah,
talked-
we're
yeah.
close to the highway.
When I talked to the deputy, because he came up to my house and was telling me what was going on, and I didn't know who the owner of the dog was, although I've seen both of those dogs. They're always together.
They're always together,
Yeah, and I don't know who they belong to, but I asked him about the one that got hit, which was the larger puppy and the larger dog, and he said it's in really bad shape and they didn't expect it to live, but it was still alive. And I said, you know, it just, it
It's
actually,
heartbreaking.
yes, it was,
Yeah.
because we were leaving the office and we heard the brakes and we heard the yelling and, you know, the yelping and stuff of the dog, and that dog was in pain.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking to see that.
Not only for your own dog, but
But
for
for
someone
someone
else's
else's,
dog.
yeah.
You know, you feel the same way about someone
Absolutely.
else's puppy.
And that's what I felt bad is like I don't want to have to, you know, in defense of, you know, that would just hurt me to death to think, oh no,
Yeah.
you know, because some dogs like each other, some dogs don't, and you never know what could be going on. So,
Yeah, that's true.
just and thank you all for being so welcoming. Appreciate it.
So you kind of suggest if these dogs, because I have the same problem, best thing, take a picture of them, maybe give them to you guys up here?
Bring them up to
Okay.
the office and we'll
Okay.
get a hold of the sheriff's office, and they usually have a deputy in this area 2 or 3, 4 times a week. They were just over here yesterday, I saw them, but.
I understand
you
they're
know,
not,
so we
but
can, if we can find the owner, by going through the description of the dogs and
Yeah.
find the tag number and get a hold of an owner, then we can move forward with that too.
because these are the same dogs all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a blatant disregard for the
Yes.
ordinance.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I tried a paint gun, but I was scared to death.
Remind
Yes.
people that they need to fill out also a statement, okay, of when you saw them running.
Yeah, I
The
documented.
location and what the
Yeah.
dogs were doing and
Yeah,
a brief
and
description.
I documented the
Good.
picture that I gave to.
That way,
Sure.
it enables the sheriff to follow up even further
Yeah.
and prosecute.
And we are in the process of doing forms for complaints, for requests, for all kinds of things that we hadn't done, you know, in the past, because they need to be done. And so we're gonna try and get that implemented as soon as we can. Thank you, Ethel. and
Thank you.
Jerry. Krill, Parking Rider, special events.
Yes, so I'm the team captain for the co-ed adult softball team that we are running out of Fromberg this year. We've got about 22 people on the roster. As for the special events, since it's adult co-ed, we would like to have the open container lifted for our baseball games. Our season starts June 8th and goes till August 17th. On the special events request form, I did mark one porta potty. The only reason why I marked that is in case the bathrooms aren't up and running. According to Jeremy, the bathroom should be up and running
Yeah.
by then, so we should be good. That's the only reason why that's on there. So if we have up and running bathrooms, we aren't actually requesting a porta potty. And as for the proof of liability insurance, the roster was turned in yesterday. It should be in within a week. Every single player on the league, not only from our team, but every other team, has to sign that liability waiver. So the town and the league is not responsible for anything that happens
Good.
to any of the players.
Mhm.
And they will have the proof of insurance within a week. They just didn't have it yet because they were waiting for the teams to turn in.
Right.
So the special events.
So this isn't a request for just the players, but the players and the spectators?
Haters, yes, to have open container lifted during the game days.
Just at the baseball.
Just at the baseball park, that's it. Just, we're playing at the lower field. So, and it's just at the baseball park during games and during,
So does that carry into the parking lot as well?
not really there at all. Bridger's set up different, that's where we played last year. This year, if open container is lifted for us, that includes the fence line from the parking lot into the dugout, and we're not allowing alcohol out onto the field. The responsibility of picking up the field and all the trash comes on us players. It's always been that way. So, and we have 22 players, almost all of them except for 4 or 5 are from Fromberg. So this is like our home field. Like, and we want to keep it as best as we can. So we're responsible for our own trash. Nobody is selling alcohol down there at all. It's all, everybody kind of just brings a couple of beers kind of thing. But the liability, again, falls on us, not on the town. And we will have that proof of insurance for you guys within a week.
Is that all she needs?
That's all I need, right?
And
Yeah.
that
Have you
just,
specified, I haven't seen the application, you specified what dates?
Yes, June 8th through August 17th.
I know, but that's,
So
Is that once a week or?
No, we have 2 games a week, usually on Monday, Wednesdays, but here's the thing, if we have to cancel a Monday game and we have to move it, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday open to move it, so that's why I didn't specify any actual dates of the play. June 8th is the opening tournament that is held here though. That is the one date I can give you for sure. June 8th is here, opening tournament, and we have 7 teams in the league, is what it is. So, and they haven't even come out with an official schedule yet.
So we're looking at roughly probably 8 days that we would need it.
Yes.
Because you're playing everybody once home, once away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're practicing in that field as well, right?
Yes, we're practicing in that field as
So
well.
it's more than 8 days.
Yeah. Practice as of right now is scheduled one day a week, usually on Sundays.
So to catch all these variables, we would literally have to open it from June 8th through
That's why I
August 20th.
put-
Is that what you're asking for?
August
17th?
17th. Yeah, June 8th to August
What do you
17th.
I don't
think
know
of that?
about, I don't know practices.
Not practices, but
I
games.
think that that's a lot too.
Well, Bridger has an open container.
Yeah, we played
They
in Bridger
do,
last
they
year.
only do it for
Daily.
special events.
No, I think it's open, isn't it?
No.
Bridger,
Are you
we
sure?
played last year and we didn't have an issue with games or with
They didn't
practice.
run that through
No?
as far as a special event. Special events are like
Street
Fromberg Days
Yeah.
or over there Bridger Days.
Right.
You know, Jim Bridger Days. And they specify specifically the dates, the times they want it lifted, and the location. And if they are selling or providing alcohol, they're required to have law enforcement.
Right, if they're selling
Yeah,
it on
but
our
this-
site,
this
we're not
Baseball,
selling.
team play of baseball, was not even specified in our special events policy. So,
The only reason why I
It's-
filled out the special events is because I wanted to be on the fair side of this and not be the person that we are all down there and then all of a sudden we have a sheriff come and get 20 of us open container
No, we
tickets.
don't want that either.
Yeah.
And it has been,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said, the official schedule won't be out for another 2 weeks. I can give you June 8th is the official start date. That's our opening tournament. That will be held here. August 17th is the end of our season and that tournament's held over in Absarkee. So,
I played in the
Yes,
league
sir.
last year, and all the games I ever went to, none of them got out of control. So
yeah, it's
I can-
not.
What I'm more concerned about, of you guys being out of control, is as our sheriff doing his due diligence comes
Right.
through and sees you guys with open containers.
Well, that's what we were
And
worried
We
about.
don't want you to be
Yeah.
put in that position,
That's why we wanted to
thinking
do,
that you're covered.
yeah.
if the council approves this, application, then we would let the sheriff's office know
The dates.
the dates and whatever that, that this has been approved by the council and, we wouldn't have to worry about any kind of, citations or anything.
If you give us your schedule when you get it.
Yeah.
And if there's any changes.
Yes, that is the other thing. There will be,
Postpone this changes.
yeah. So